PC fam, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you are. You know, we are international. We're here on another episode of Chill with Chill. Just enjoying the tail end of the NBA season. It's March, a lot of basketball going on right now. Chill, how's it going? How's your Saturday?
It was good, brother. It's just starting. NCAA tournament going on. This is because I know you're a college basketball guy, Ox, and I know you pay a lot of attention to college basketball. I start watching around this time, like around the conference tournament time. I start watching around this time, and it's some good action. In addition to the NBA, this is some good action going on, man. Real good action. So, and I'm a little partial to UConn, as you know, because
Right.
I grew up with the head coach, but they got a real difficult task ahead of them against Florida. Florida might be the best team in the tournament. Florida might be the best team in the tournament. So if they can get past them, they right back in the mix. But that's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
That's definitely gonna be tough.
Florida's dangerous, definitely dangerous. It's been some good games so far. Today's gonna be exciting. You know, we got the women's tournament, men's tournament. So
that's what I wanted to Ox, that big girl from UCLA. I love her.
Oh yeah. I didn't get to see them any tournament game from them yet. But like when the tournament starts specifically, especially on the women's side, I like to watch like those 11 seeds. I like to see some of the better mid-major teams and stuff like that. Like I know I was posting about it on Twitter a lot. I watched that Columbia versus UW game. And
I did watch that game too. I did. It was in North Carolina. I did watch that game.
Yeah, and so the big girl from UW, you know, we know her a little bit. We're friendly with her. She come through the shop a couple times up in Seattle, and so her name's Delela Daniels, Daniels, and she's a monster. But Columbia, I think that coach is as close to a genius as I've ever seen. They said they got some nice sets. They were playing really good basketball, and I knew from the first quarter Columbia was going to win that game. They got their first NC2A win, so shout out to them. We got some good basketball. Yeah.
It's interesting you brought up Columbia because I was watching that game with my niece, and she's a Columbia fan. Columbia looked to me like a Sweet 16 team. The action that they run, Ox, they look like they could just outsmart you. Like they're not going to out athletic you. They're not going to just be. They're just going to outsmart you. Everything that you don't know how to do, they're going to exploit that. I was loving that about them, and they got a real good point guard too. I do. They look like they could be a Sweet 16 team. That depends on who they run into early. That depends.
Right.
I like that.
So I'm gonna keep an eye on them though. You know, it's really good basketball. I love that, and that's what I talk about you. When I always say like I like to watch women's college ball and stuff like that because of teams like that, where it's like if they can beat teams with superior talent because they're just playing really good team basketball. And then the next game after that too, William and Mary. I don't think they're gonna have much success in the tournament at all, especially since they're the 16 seed. But they had a really
ever in the tournament. I think this isn't.
So this was their first win, even though it was a 16 versus 16 against High Point. This was Columbia's first win too. Right. But William and Mary, they got this matchup 2-3 zone, and as soon as I seen it, because everybody was on Twitter saying, "Okay, we'll call this game since you think you could call that one." So I was like, "Okay, give me a couple minutes, I'll watch it." I'm like, "Okay, they're gonna win. Look at that zone, that 2-3 zone," and so they end up pulling it out. But so y'all tap into college ball. It's March. Tap into the men's side, women's side. As far as the men's side, I got Auburn. I think Auburn probably will take it. On the women's side, I got Texas. I'm going back with them again this year. If not Texas, I'm gonna say NC State. Man, y'all check it out, y'all. As far as the NBA goes, which I know that's what y'all here for, we got some good news in it. We got some news. I'm not gonna say good news or bad news, but we got some NBA news. Let's start with the Lakers. So, apparently they're looking at waiving their superstar big man Alex Len, and and Cam Reddish too. Cam Reddish it's been shaky for him in the NBA. Was that expected?
It wasn't expected for me, to be honest with you. I think that they brought up Goodwin for insurance, and with him being on a two-way deal, we're at a point now in the season where they got to make a decision where they keep him on the roster for the rest of the season or they send him back down to the G League. Well, he's been almost invaluable to them. How much better he's been as just a hustle guy, as a DN3 guy. And to your point, when you said that you just wish Alex Len was a little bit better, I wish he could play, I'm not even talking about him just being a little bit better. I wish that he could play, to be quite honest with you. And I think that he squandered an opportunity because the Lakers really need a big guy. And they don't need a big guy that needs to be 20 and 10. They just need a solid big man. You see what's going on with Jackson Hayes. If he could have just been a better pick and dive, pick and pop, rebounding big, I think he could have stayed on the roster. But I don't think that he's given him anything of value. And Goodwin has done more. And I think Cam Reddish basically played himself out of the rotation because all he had to do in fact is just play defense, be a better defender, and knock down open shots. And he couldn't do that. And I think he played himself out of the rotation. And I think Goodwin earned himself a contract for the rest of the season. And I applaud stuff like that, Ox. To be quite honest with you, I 100% applaud stuff like that because when you give a guy a legit opportunity like they did with Goodwin and he made the most of it, I mean, I feel like you have to praise that as opposed to a guy who is on the roster, who's kind of just collecting a check, which I feel like what Alex Len was doing. I'm not going to say that Alex Len is just garbage. Maybe the pro game in the NBA isn't for him. Maybe he is a EuroLeague guy. Maybe he is because I saw what happened with Sasha when he was up there in Sacramento with you guys, the MVP of the EuroLeague. He comes up to Sacramento and he can't get off the bench. I'm thinking, can this guy play? And then he goes back to the EuroLeague, and I think Sasha is second in the league in scoring in the EuroLeague. So maybe that might be a better situation for him. I'm not sure, but I like what this kid Goodwin is doing.
Even in like a EuroLeague situation, I don't think Alex Len's just gonna go over there and be a star. I mean, I think Alex Len could definitely go play somewhere else, but I just think it's just random scores. If you ask me, Alex Len's had a successful NBA career. I mean, if you ask me, he stuck around. It's been a decade. You know what I mean? He's had a long career. Got some minutes. You know what I mean? If I was Alex Len, I could retire after this season and live happily. You know what I mean? So, so shout out to.
And I feel like with this Laker team, I mean, James, I saw some information about James is getting himself ramping back up and getting himself. Hold on for 1 second. I apologize. Okay, we good. He's getting himself back in shape. That groin injury doesn't look like it's as bad. He's doing some full court work, and that helps. So with these guys getting back together, they're 7-3 without James in the lineup, getting Godwin back. And don't get me wrong, I don't think Goodwin's going to be that integral in what they're doing. But what I do think is I think that having him as another rotation player, I think he can help them, no doubt about that. And the Lakers, for all intents and purposes, I mean, I feel like they're getting it together. I do. I feel like they're getting it together. Luka looks like he's in much better shape than what he was in the past. Much better. James is trying to get back healthy. So this Laker team, they're going to be dangerous in the playoffs. Yes, sir. They're going to be really dangerous.
Right. So when you say really dangerous, Chill, how dangerous is really dangerous? Like, are they a threat to take it, or
to be honest with you? I used to say to you, I like them against. I like their chances against anybody else except Denver. I feel like now with Denver, the Rabbit got the gun. Like the Rabbit didn't have a gun before. The Rabbit's got the gun, and I think that JJ Redick has now put the battery in these guys back to make them think that they can beat Denver. And I think that he changed up the lineup. Not only did he change up the lineup, he changed up the schemes and what they were doing, and it's working. It's absolutely working now. Can they beat Oklahoma City 4 times in a week? There's some people that's telling me, with that young team, and we're going to talk about Oklahoma City in a little bit with that young team. But I look at what they're doing, man, and it's almost a lock for me. That would be a really good series. But when we're talking about Houston, and we're going to talk about them too, I just think that the Western Conference at the top 5 seeds, I just think it's really top heavy. And after that, I mean, I'm not really concerned with the Clippers. As good as Kawhi Leonard and James Harden have been, I'm really not. If you're the Lakers, I'm not that concerned with them. The Warriors, I should be more concerned with them than I am, but I'm not. Memphis is in a free fall right now, also, and they don't really play much pick and dive defense. To be honest with you, Ox, I like their chances in the Western Conference against just about anybody. I do.
Right. I think the Lakers. Maybe the Warriors. I'm not sure about the Warriors, but the Lakers and the Lakers and the Warriors, I think, are the 2 teams that OKC would be concerned with.
But I just think that if The Lakers, Luka in particular. I feel like if Luka is playing the way Luka plays, getting downhill, and JJ Redick is giving him that freedom to be who he is, they're going to be a really tough out. Because if Luka's got the ball in his hands and he's playing pick and dive with James and he's getting Jackson Hayes involved, or I got Luka at the end of games and I need buckets, I like my chances against anybody. That includes Oklahoma City. That includes Houston. I like my chances against anybody. So,
yeah. So that's the news coming out of LA. About what you were saying about Houston. 9 straight wins. So it was, they had took a slide like last month and they brought it back.
6 straight losses.
Yeah. So that they turned it right around. It looks like they're gearing up to finish the season strong. Maybe this is what we should expect to see from them in the playoffs as opposed to what they showed last month. So I mean, you talked about them at the 2 seed. You brought Houston up. Are they dangerous? Is this a regular season showing, or can they beat top teams in a 7-game series? Or are they a threat to win the West?
Because I know how you feel about young guys, and I'm relatively the same way when it comes to stuff like that. But one of the main reasons why they are where they are now, one, their defense is picked back up. They back in the top 5 in the league in defense. They're back in the top 5 in the league in points surrendered. So with all of that, with all of that being said, and one of the main reasons why, they got Amen Thompson back in the lineup. He's missed the last 6 games. He had an injury, so they got him back in the lineup. That's huge. When I talk about the Houston Rockets, and I caught a lot of flack for this with Mars and myself, because I'm a big fan of this kid Jabari Smith. I just love everything about him. He's giving me 14 a game and 7 rebounds in 30 minutes. I'm getting this from my third, fourth guy in 30 minutes. That's a big deal. The thing I like about him offensively, I like how he attacks the basket. I also like how he also relocates. Like, he doesn't just stand around as a shooter. He relocates when he's open, and when Fred VanVleet is getting downhill, he'll relocate the different spots. At 6'10", I mean, that's a damn good prize to have. On top of that, him as a defender, I love his switchability. I'm a huge fan of guys who are versatile as a defender, and this kid is really versatile as a defender. I think that I know that you're not a big fan of this because people say it a lot, but Houston has benefited from a favorable schedule. They beat Orlando twice, they beat New Orleans twice, they beat Philly, but I don't really bother too much with that, Ox, because you beat who's in front of you. We didn't say that when the Bulls won 72 games. We didn't say that when we didn't say that when the Rockets won 65 games, or when the Celtics won 65 games, or when the Warriors won 73 games. We didn't say anything about that when they were rolling, when they had a favorable schedule. So the same thing is going on with Houston right now. They got a favorable schedule. They're taking advantage of it. And for it only to be less than a month away from the playoffs, this is a great time to get rolling. This is a great time to get rolling with Houston. And the fact that their defense is picked up, I love it.
Right. So I mean, in the West, we have Houston 9-game winning streak, OKC a 5-game winning streak, and the Clippers. And the Clippers are a 5-game winning streak. And you're saying you're not concerned with the Clippers doing it, because I mean, if they finish in the 7th seed, that will be the matchup. It will be the Clippers versus the Rockets. Yeah. So, and I know you're talking about Jabari. Can Jabari slow down this, what looks like to be a new a resurgence of Kawhi Leonard? Can Jabari be the guy, or is it, can those youngsters, can they slow down James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, Norman Powell? Can Sengun bang with Big Zoo? Are they? I tend to think that the Rockets are a little outmatched against the Clippers.
It might be. So I mean, the Clippers have won 5 straight. They won 8 of their last 9. They rolling right now. Yeah, they rolling right now. They won 8 of their last 9. They won 5 straight. Kawhi Leonard has been stellar over these last couple of games. I got dragged onto the Clippers train. I got dragged on it. I jumped off of it. I ran. I got my shirt pulled. I got dragged back on it. I got off of it again, and I got a bunch of people dragged me back onto it. I'm not, and the reason why is because I know what it looks like, and I've seen this movie before. I've seen this movie before. Now, to your point, I think this is a good matchup for the Houston Rockets in terms of experience. This is a great matchup for a guy like Amin Thompson to have to go against a guy like Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs. I think this is a great matchup for Jabari to have to go against a guy, Tari to have to go against a guy like James Harden in the playoffs to see where we are, because playoff basketball is way different than regular season basketball. You're going to see similar sets, but the action is going to be a lot more intense. It's going to be a lot hard. Diving to the basket is going to be a lot harder. Sengun, as tough as Sengun is, dealing with Zubac in the paint on the glass, I watched him rough up Evan Mobley. And for all intents and purposes, Sengun is a rough guy. But Zubac is even tougher than that. And Norman Powell, who I watched last night when they played against Memphis, him getting to the rim, I don't think that I have a difficult time with the buckets that they got last night against Memphis being as simple. That doesn't mean that they can't win. I just think that it's going to be a really hard task for them, because I feel like with what Houston has, just from a defensive standpoint, and how Fred VanVleet guides them, I think that it's going to be really difficult. Now, from a talent standpoint, I mean, James Harden's been great, right? I think James Harden is awesome. Kawhi Leonard looks like Kawhi Leonard. The question that I have, Ox, because I've seen this movie before, no matter how many times I watched the 1998 NBA Finals, Jordan still steals the ball. I could watch it 10 times. I could watch it 20 times. Jordan still steals the ball. It happens. Right. And I could say a whole bunch of times, Kawhi Leonard looks great. Kawhi Leonard looks great. I've seen this movie before. How long is he going to be able to hold up for? Can he hold up for the entirety of the playoffs? Because he looks great. I never questioned Kawhi. I never questioned Kawhi Leonard's game, and I never will question Kawhi Leonard's game. Kawhi Leonard is one of the best players that I've ever seen, 100%. The question is can he hold up? I'm not sure he can. And I've seen this movie before. He's going to break down. 100% he is. This Houston defense, for all intents and purposes, just like I said with Memphis, I feel like they could wear the Clippers down. I do. I feel like they could wear the Clippers down, and I think that they could beat them.
Yeah, I definitely think that they can win. You know, I'm just, you know, with the matchups, I think most teams, it's like, oh, either team can win. But if I chose a team to beat them, I think I would have to go with the Clippers in this matchup. But you know, like I said, it's gonna be a good series.
I just think that as good as the Clippers are in terms of a talent standpoint, they go especially with Leonard back in the lineup, they go as he goes. He's not just an added weapon. No, he's a big part of what they're doing. It's not like, okay, we're just going to add Kawhi to this. And if you take Kawhi off the floor, all right, we're still rolling. Next man up. You can't replace Kawhi Leonard. We got to play different if Leonard is not out there, right? We got to play completely different if James Harden isn't out there. So defensively on the wing, the Clippers are one of the better defensive wing teams. I like that about them. But so is Houston. And I think that points are going to come at a premium for the Clippers. It's going to be hard for them to score.
Okay. Yeah, well, y'all get ready, man. We don't got much longer to wait. Y'all get ready for the playoffs. They are on the way. We got a super chat from Void Century. Void Century says, Jimmy wins ring with Golden State Warriors and Miami capture the flag.
They are in free fall. Unbelievable, Ox. What's going on in Miami? I think 10 straight they've lost. Even though Bam is back, Bam has actually been really good. They really need a lead guard. That's their biggest problem. They need a lead guard. I remember, and I'm watching the Miami Heat, and I'm thinking about when Mark Jackson, when he used to play for Indiana, and he said he saw the Knicks. I'm sorry, he was playing for Denver. I apologize, Ox. He was playing in Denver, and he saw the Indiana Knicks series, and he was like, I could really help that crew. I think there's a point guard out there that's looking at Miami going, I could really help them. I could really help them. I know that Pat Riley, knowing who he is, he would pick the phone up and he would call Miami and check their temperature. I mean, he would call Memphis, and check their temperature, see how they feel about Ja these days. But I don't think that Memphis is coming off Ja. I doubt that will happen. But he's got to show up that lead guard spot. That's the problem right there. I think everything else is good. I do. I don't think you have much of a problem in other spots. I think that lead guard spot is where the biggest problem is.
In Memphis?
No, in Miami.
No. In Miami, right. My bad. Because you talked about Ja, so okay, Miami. So you know what I heard? I heard that Nico in the Lakers, you know, the move they made with Luka, saved Pat Riley and Miami Heat from, you know, getting talked about more for the Jimmy move. So word is that if it wasn't for the Luka move, the Jimmy move was that big of a deal that it would, you know. You don't agree, Chip?
No, it was not. No.
They're saying that was highway robbery. You know what I mean? That they're trying to make it seem like since they got Andrew Wiggins, it's you know, it was somewhat fair exchange. But that Andrew Wiggins is nothing in comparison to Jimmy Butler, and that in all intents and purposes, Miami got fleeced.
Andrew Wiggins has been hurt. He's been in and out of the lineup, but he ain't the reason why they're losing. And the reason why they're losing is because they get no production at their lead guard spot. And on no level am I going to compare a Jimmy Butler trade to what was going on with the Lakers in Luka Doncic. No, I'm never going to do that. Absolutely not. So if that didn't happen, I'm not sitting around going, wow, the Miami Heat really got fleeced. Sometimes addition by subtraction helps. And that doesn't mean that Jimmy's a bad guy. That doesn't mean that Jimmy is an awful human or anything like that. It's just, it was time to go. It was time to go. Pat Riley wasn't interested in paying him. I think he fits better in Golden State. I think he fits better with what they're doing in Golden State, and it works. Are they going to win the NBA championship? I'm really interested to see what the temperature is going to be when we see them in the playoffs and it doesn't work out like how everybody thinks it's going to work out. I'll be real interested to see that, because I'm thinking the same thing would have been in the Eastern Conference, because I don't see with Jimmy Butler, even if he was happy and he got paid, I don't think they beat Boston. I don't see it.
Right. I mean, no, I don't. And by no stretch of the imagination do I think Miami was going to make a deep run this year with Jimmy Butler. But I do think that has a lot to do with what was already going on. I think chemistry was screwed up. I don't think they were seeing eye to eye. I think Bam and Tyler were sick of Jimmy as much as I'm assuming they got love for Jimmy. I'm pretty sure Jimmy's a likable guy if you're on his team. If you're a teammate of Jimmy's, I'm sure it's all love until it's not. You know what I mean? And you know, we were talking about this the other day, and I think it's unfair for people to only talk about how your teammates feel about you. Like when you talk about Russ and Jimmy and Kyrie and guys like that, who I think are good guys, but they've throughout their career they've had some ups and downs, roller coasters as far as public perception and things like that go, right? So we then you hear people say, well, everybody says that this guy's a perfect teammate, this and that. But you're not looking at it from a coaching standpoint. You're not looking at it from the GM. You're not looking at it from team owners. You're not looking at it from fans. You're only looking at it from their team. And I think there's more important things in that. Like as far as Jimmy Butler, I'm sure he's a good teammate, but he's somewhat of a rotten apple, and you can't put rotten apples next to the other apples or they'll get rotten too. You know what I mean? Well, sometimes Jimmy's happy until he's not. And as soon as he's not happy, it's just full destruction.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's one of them situations, Ox, where and I think that I think they said it when they first got Jimmy. Quote, he's my kind of crazy. When you're dealing with that kind of crazy, you got to deal with the ups and downs of that kind of crazy. Right. So Jimmy Butler, when it's good, right? When it's good, it's good. But when it's bad, it's really bad. And you see what's going you see what's going on with this. So I'm just me in particular, I feel like with losing Jimmy, I understand exactly why. I understand exactly why Pat Riley got off of him, and I don't think it had anything to do with Jimmy I don't think it had anything to do with Jimmy personally. Pat Riley didn't see himself paying Jimmy 37, 38 years old, $55, $60 million. He couldn't do it. So it was a business decision.
Definitely. I mean, that's a part of business too. Yeah. And it can from the outside looking in, it can get a little ugly, but at the same time, it might not really be that ugly like here. Like, you know, there's been times where maybe in business where we try to do business with maybe like a magazine or something. And we went to had a party with like the Seahawks once, right? And then we see these people in the magazine, and it was all this and that, but it's all love. You know, we just can't do business because we want too much, and y'all not willing to give it to us, or y'all want too much, and we're not willing to give it to you. But we have to be stern and let you know, no. And we argue this and that, but it's all love though. I'm sure Jimmy and Pat, I'm sure they're good, y'all. I'm sure they're all good. It's no big deal.
This ain't the Daryl Morey, James Harden situation. No, I don't think it's like that.
And even with that, I'm sure Daryl Morey and James Harden can work through that too. It's just business. You know what I'm saying? It's like nobody got hurt. You know what I mean? Nobody's family was disrespected or anything like that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? People, when if you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, you know, like blood pressure is gonna rise. You know what I'm saying? Chill, we're gonna get heated. You know what I'm saying? Chill. If I tell you, Chill, come on, let's do this. I'm gonna give you 45 mil. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, Chill, I can only give you 18. You're gonna be pissed.
Yes, like wait a minute, that wasn't the deal. No, that was not the deal. No.
Yeah, you might call me some things that, you know, we wouldn't want to really call each other, but
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's millions and millions of dollars. But come on, y'all. My point is, I don't think we should take this as so concrete, all the things. You know what I'm saying? People, grown men, grown people, they're gonna speak their mind. And you know, I don't think it's such hard feelings, y'all. But Chill.
Yeah.
So you don't agree with my original statement of what I've been hearing about the Jimmy Butler trade being a really big deal, but not getting as much attention because of Luka.
I mean, I think don't get me wrong, Ox. I think it's a big deal. I don't think it's that big a deal. I'm not going to go that far. No, I will not say that. Yo, this is that big of a deal because no, it's not. No.
Right. No. Right. Next up, and we got a couple super chats, y'all. We got some super chats we're going to get to. We got a lobby full. We got people popping in, and we're going to get into the title of the show as well. Give me a second. Let's get to it. But let's talk about OKC first.
Yes, sir.
OKC, the youngest team to be the number 1 seed back to back, 2024 and 2025.
2 years in a row.
Let's say hypothetically, let's say that this team doesn't win a championship this year. Let's say that they're really good next year. Let's say they don't win a championship again this year. This is all hypothetical, y'all. OKC fans, y'all chill out, relax. Let's just say something like that happens. We get a 3-year gap of this really good team and they don't win a championship. Will this team go down as a historical team? Will this team go down as one of the teams to not win it? Will they get talked about amongst some of those great non-winning teams like the Jazz, like, you know, teams like that? Would they go down as one of those type teams?
Well,
the Hawks, the Kings.
Well, when I think about what they did specifically from 2010 to 2016, Oklahoma City was in the Western Conference Finals 3 times in 5 years, and they made it to the NBA Finals with that young group. I mean, with KD, Russ, Ibaka, James Harden. Nobody on that team was older than 23 years old. They had a bunch of kids on that crew, and I have yet to see a team win the NBA championship with a bunch of kids. And that's not to discredit them. That's not to say that they're not going to be they're not a great team. No, but I just have yet to see a team win the NBA championship led by a bunch of kids. That's not the way that's happened. However, I don't want to take away from what this team has been doing. And I think Sam Presti needs to be acknowledged for the job that he's done with this Oklahoma City team and building this team. When they lost KD and then they lose Russ 3 years later, right? When they lose KD and then they lose Russ 3 or 4 years later, and he has to start this whole thing over, right? And with him starting this whole thing over, and he trades for SGA, he signs Lou Dort, who wasn't drafted, right? He gets Aaron Wiggins. He gets Aaron Wiggins in the second round. He's the same pick as Bronny James, by the way. He gets Aaron Wiggins in the second round, right? He gets Cason Wallace. He gets J-Dub, who was also a part of that Kawhi Leonard trade, because they got a first-round pick out of that. That was the number 12 pick, which ended up turning into J-Dub. So you do need some luck within this. And I feel like the way the way that he's built this team, I feel like he's done such a good job in play style. Now, would this team be to answer your question, would this team be in the same realm with teams like the Jazz, like teams that have never won an NBA championship? I'm not going to go that far because those teams were a lot older, right? Those teams were a lot older, and I feel like they were more vet. They had a bunch of vets on the crew. This team is a bunch of Chet is 21 years old, 22. J-Dub is 23 years old. So I think this is a much younger team. I don't want to put them in that category yet, but I still need to see if they can do it. Because again, Ox, I'm having a difficult time with the logic that a team that's led by a bunch of kids, it's not to say that it can't be done, but a team that's led by a bunch of kids can win the NBA championship. I have yet to see it.
Right. Real quick, let me shout out to this guy. Let me shout out Sam Gibson and shout out to you, Sam Gibson, for bringing up the Rockets 2018. I forgot about them, but to then put the Kings in quotation marks and then give a LOL, that's absurd. I mean, obviously, the early 2000 Kings dog walked the 2018 2018 Rockets, and I'm just gonna leave that there. Let's leave that there. There's no comparison. Sam Gibson, thanks anyway, brother. Let's get to some super chats.
Yes, sir.
From Fizzy for Facts. Fizzy for Facts, okay. Fizzy for Facts says only 4 teams in the NBA that's top 10 in defense rating and offensive rating. Who do you think they are?
Four teams in the league that's in the top 4 in the league in defensive rating and offensive rating. Top 4, and this is an ESPN stat, by the way, because I know that the Celtics at one point they were in the top 5 in the league in offense and defense. I know that there was a time when Cleveland was in the top 5 in the league in offense and defense. There was a time when Oklahoma City is at the top of the league. They're in the top. I don't think they're in the top 5. I don't think they're in the top 10 in the league in offense, though. I don't think so. I think that they might be. I'm not sure if they are. But
Chill, I'm sorry. I'm having a situation right now.
Okay, what's going on?
I just need you to answer this for me because maybe I'm tripping, and we'll get right back to this super chat. Fizzy for Facts.
Yep.
Am I tripping? Or the 2018 Rockets would beat the 2002 Kings?
The 2018 Rockets, they would beat the 2002 Kings with Chris Webber and Doug Christie and.
Well, I mean, that's what the chat's saying. They're saying that I'm tripping.
The 2018 Rockets would beat the 2002 Sacramento Kings.
I think the Kings win, of course, but
I think the Kings beat them too with Mike Bibby and Webber. And no, I don't think the Rockets beat them. No.
Okay. I was like, maybe I'm because sometimes I don't know things until I know things. You know what I mean? So I was maybe I'm tripping, but okay.
I don't think they beat them. No, I don't.
All right, cool. Okay, my bad. Let's get back to the super chat. So we got top 10 in defensive rating and offensive rating. Only 4 teams.
I only came up with 3. I know that the Celtics were there at one point. I know that Oklahoma City was there at one point. I know that Cleveland was there at one point. Are the Clippers in the top 10 in the top 4 in the offense and defense? Maybe the Clippers are. Those are the teams that I'm thinking about off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, Fizzy for Facts. If can you give us the answers to that? Make sure that we got that.
Absolutely.
Void Century. Think Miami go for Trey at PG and hope to land first or third pick for Bailey or Flag. If not, they got 4. Oh, if not, they go for KD and hope to land 2nd or 8th pick for Harper or Fears.
Break, man. I mean, see all of this stuff with KD, like all of the stuff that has to happen with KD in order to get him on your crew, and then it goes the other way. And it may not be any fault to KD's, but he's involved. And because he's involved, that's the way it goes. So, first of all, I don't think that Trae Young, I don't think he's a Miami Heat. The Miami Heat have a certain mantra. They have a certain way that they play. They have a certain style of player. And I don't think Trae Young fits that style of player in Miami. Excuse me. I don't think that Trae Young, for all of his defensive deficiencies, I don't think that he would be a good fit. As good as he is as an offensive player, as good as he is as a bucket getter, as a distributor, as good as he is at all of that stuff, and they may have people to protect him on defense. However, I just don't think that he fits his play style. I don't think fits with the Miami Heat.
Right. I'm still, and even with the success that they showed in this season, I still was thinking that Trae Young was on the move. So is Trae Young still possibly on the move?
I really hope not, Ox. To be honest with you, I really hope not. Because
you like him with Jalen Johnson.
I do, man. I think this is the most talented team he's been on, and they were around 5-6 before Jalen Johnson got hurt. And I would like to have seen what this crew would look like. I want to give this another shot. I don't want to blow this up yet. And I do think that they need to upgrade at the 5 spot. I won't argue that. They need to upgrade at the 5 spot. But, Trae Young, for all his inefficiencies, the fact that he's got now better players with Jalen Johnson, right? With Dyson Daniels. Now that he's got better players and a more talented group, I want to see this thing through. I do want to see this thing through.
Okay. Physical Fact says the other team is the Timberwolves. Upset
top five in the league in defense and offense. How about that? Minnesota being in the top 5 in the league in offense. Julius Randle has been a solid 20 a game. Like, you know how Shea is 30 every night? Like, there is no in-betweens where he's got to make that up. Julius Randle has been 20 every night. 20, 21, 22, 20, 21. He's been that every night. And, I mean, if you can rely on that, I think he does make their offense better. And I can appreciate the fact that, Ant Edwards is starting to get better at other things. I think Ant Edwards, he said something that I think is really interesting, Ox. He said that he's starting to watch Luka tape. He's starting to watch a lot of Luka.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he came back next year a better playmaker and passer. I would not be surprised. Just like we saw him as a long ball shooter this year, where he's cracking the long ball at 12. I would not be surprised if next year he came back and we saw a 6-7 assist a game guy. That would not surprise me at all.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome to see. Awesome. To see somebody continue to just grow, level up. That's I think that's really dope. I thought that would be awesome. I would love to see that.
Yes.
So there's 440 of y'all in here. Y'all make sure y'all like this video, because what I'm about to drop for y'all right now is an exclusive. It's an exclusive. See, as a dub host, what I do is I undercut the L host and drop exclusive content on the weekends. Okay. So what Ron thought he was gonna do was post the Sweet 16 of the PCL on Monday. But what y'all get, the ones that showed up to watch the best show on the platform, is the Sweet 16 right now. See, what a W host does is get information from the L host and bring it to the people on their time. I'm like Robin Hood. I rob from the L host, give to the people, y'all. Now, we actually got somebody in the lobby that's in the Sweet 16. I might have to pull him up to drop this. Mars said, check out Mars in the chat. Fraudulent. Okay, Mars, that's crazy. Here we go. The PCL Sweet 16. Chill. Sorry, brother. Got some bad news. I know you wasn't on playback yesterday.
I was not. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
Nah, I'm just playing more shit. Of course, you went through. Sweet 16. Who is Big OC?
Interesting.
We got typos. So if you've been missing the PCL, here it is right here, y'all. Check it out. PCL Sweet 16, sponsored by Playback. Now, y'all feast your eyes on this. First Sweet 16 matchups are here. We got Mars versus Cowboy Bob. Yours truly, Big Ox, King Ox to be exact, for the PCL, versus ZZ. Love you, ZZ. Sorry in advance. Still, you packed Mike up in all caps, and you will be facing SB Talk Sports. We also have Gifted versus Jordan. Dion from Ohio. Shout out to Frenchie. Dion from Ohio.
I give SB a lot more credit than other people do. Like, he know basketball, so I'll be ready for him. Yeah, I know I have to bring it with him.
Did you see SB's debate?
No, I didn't.
Against who was SB? I can't remember who SB went against. My bad. There was so many debaters. I mean, you know, sometimes you know they're hard on certain guys. I personally like SB. You know, I like SB. I like SB in the back and forth.
I do too.
I've seen him in a lot of debates. You know, like there's a time I was running around different platforms just doing a bunch of debates. Shout out to FYF. You know, and so I've seen SB a lot, and I think SB is a competent debater. I think he knows ball. Shout out to SB. I think he's dope. Gifted versus Jordan. A lot of people were shocked when Jordan went up against Carson. I, for one, once again, was not. I think Jordan is a basketball connoisseur. There's guys like Jordan who I like to lump myself into this category of people where I think we're really underrated as far as basketball, just because people don't see us as strong debaters. But Jordan knows ball, you know, and it came out in that first round against Carson.
Jordan is like you, Ox. You can find Jordan at a pickup game at a park. Like he's just there. Like he's just there. You can find Jordan just around basketball. Not really playing or nothing like that. He's just there. Doesn't make a difference where it is. You can just find him there.
All day, man. That's I think Jordan. Jordan consumes basketball. I think he's a basketball connoisseur, and I love that about Jordan. Shout out to him. He has a hard matchup against Gifted. If y'all know, Gifted had a tough first round, and he made it through. So I think Gifted is coming with a vengeance because of that first round showing. So Jordan, get ready and get prepared. Gifted is nothing to play with, y'all. Dion from Ohio against John Diesel.
That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, that'll be fireworks.
That's gonna be fireworks right there. I'm gonna peek my head in on that one. No doubt about that. I'm gonna peek my head in on that one. Yes, I will.
And then we have I'm gonna skip over this one for reasons that y'all will see in the second chat, of course. Penn versus Logan. I think is gonna be really good, chill. I think Penn versus Logan is going to be really good.
That's one of those Harvard versus Columbia debates. That's what that's going to
be. Right. Yale versus Brown.
And you're gonna learn something if you watch these two. Something that you didn't know, you're gonna learn it.
I have no horse in that race. I'm not going to put any bet on that one. I don't know. Both of them dudes know ball. Yes. And they're really good talkers. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So that'll be a great debate. Swiper versus Real Talk.
That should be good. That should be really good.
I tell you what, this Sweet 16 chill is better than any Sweet 16 I've ever seen. I'm talking about any 16 I've ever seen. And I've seen some good Sweet 16s. This one good, here is going to be one of the best. Now for the good. Do you got any predictions on any of these, or you just want to just watch them and see how it happens?
I just want to see how they go. I will say that what Dion did in round one with that bullying and that pushing around, he ain't gonna be able to do that with John D. So if that's your plan, I just want to put that out there right now, Dion. As good as you are, as good as you are, if you think you're gonna come in here and push John D around, you're gonna have to try something else because that's not gonna work. I can just let you know that right now. So whatever else you plan on doing, I don't know. Right? That other part, I don't know. But if you think that you're going to push John D around, you're not. You're going to have to try something else.
You know, chill. I'm not messy. I don't want to start. I don't want to instigate. I don't want to start no shit. But I do got to say, chill. Last night on playback, they were calling for a recount. They're saying that you swayed the judges or that you threw some weight around and got to the second round. Chill, are you going to be taking that out on SB?
So, one, if you remember after the debate, who was doing all the talking after the debate? It was him. He was the one doing all the talking. I beat you 1, 2, 3 Cancun, you sucker, and all of this sort of stuff. I didn't say anything. And the reason why I didn't say anything, because I said everything that I had to say during the debate. And I let the debate take care of it. And that was it. And once it was over, the judges counted up the votes. He's out. I'm in. This had nothing to do with me giving somebody a nudge. No, I ran down everything that I said. He ran down everything that he said. He kept talking afterwards. I bust you. I beat you. Good Cancun. Sounds like you're the one going to Cancun, not me. That's what that sounds like. It sounds like you're the one that's out. Sounds like you're the one who was doing all the yapping, not me. And
it wasn't on playback. Mike didn't come up on playback and demand a recount. It wasn't Mike. It was your own co-hosts or panelists. Your very own people, chill.
Yeah, and the reason why it was my very own people, and I got a theory on this, Ox. You know, you're a big fan of self-preservation, right? You're a huge fan of self-preservation, as am I. You know, you gotta look out for you. But it's interesting that I think I'm one of the best here. Now, if you're trying to win something, what are you trying to do as a panelist? I'm trying to get rid of some of who are the best. And however I can do that, let me do that. And if I can sway people by saying that we need to do this and we need to do that to get rid of this person, I'm going to do it. So I do understand it. Mm-hmm.
Politics as usual. Wow. So that's what's going on. But I got somebody I want to bring to the stage right now who started as a wild card.
Yep.
Took down one of the better debaters in this platform, I'm sorry, and made it to the Sweet 16. Your very own Brax, the Bandit, will be taking on Hayes in the Sweet 16. Brax, are you here? Are you with us, Brax?
Am I hot? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you. Brax. What's going on?
Yes, man. I did not expect this, man.
Brax, in your first PCL tournament, you have advanced to the Sweet 16. Do you have anything you want to say to the people about your matchup? Do you want to say anything to Pirate? Do you want to break down your strategy of getting prepared? What's up, Brax? Talk to us.
My fault. I get a little choked up in moments like this.
You're not accepting no Grammy.
Let me be for real. I just big shout out to Pirate. Big shout out to PC for putting me on the panel, giving me an opportunity to debate stuff like that. Damn good debate. Do got a couple things I want to say though. Specifically, now you can bring it back up. Where Chill go? Chill. Where you go, brother? This thing you saying about swaying, I can't help but think that's a little shot. Like, what? Can you elaborate on that a little bit for me, please? Like
swaying. I didn't sway anything. That's what I said.
No, I'm not talking about you. Like what you said, somebody else was doing, like swaying the people.
I mean, it's exactly what you think it is, Brax. What you think it is that.
So I think. Let me just go ahead and cut to the chase. Do you think Mars swayed for me to win? Is that what you?
I don't know about you. I don't know about you. I don't know about you.
So you say you still haven't watched my debate?
No, I didn't. I didn't watch it. I'm sorry.
But you say you were eager to watch it though, so I'm confused.
But I didn't watch it. I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't have. Unfortunately, I ain't had time to watch it.
Damn, Brax. I guess you're not the.
That's not to say that I don't care. I just I ran into some other stuff and I didn't have time to watch it. So
respect, bro. Respect. But as far as my next debate or anything like that, hey man, just got to see what the topics are. I'm gonna do my research and I'm gonna kill them. Like it's just that simple.
Right on. So Brax, shout out to you for making it to the Sweet 16. All three of us for being in the Sweet 16. Shout out to you, Brax. Of course, shout out to you, Chill. Shout out to me. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to us. We in here, y'all. We did great first round. Good job, y'all. Brax, you got anything to say about your OKC Thunder? Number 1 seed, back to back, young squad. Do y'all have anybody that y'all need to worry about in these first or second rounds?
I ain't felt this way in a minute, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. This is amazing feeling. Only person out west, not really.
He got that cheese like KD still on the crew. Like
hey, brother, that's the last time I felt like this. You feel me? Like I'm telling you, this is
he looking like Russ and KD still around.
You know what I'm saying? This is a promising squad, boy. I ain't stopped smiling all season. Like you feel me? Like
we got something brewing over here.
You feel me? I feel great, boy.
And you do. That ain't no nonsense. You do have something cooking over there. You do
for sure. I just out west. Only competition is ourselves. Just stay healthy. Just stay with the game plans. All that.
I just think that with a young team like Oklahoma City, I mean, sure, y'all should have been in Game 7, and Shea made the mistake that he made. That's from a young guy, and with that being from a young guy, I feel like he's learned from that. But you still got some other young guys on the crew, and when you have young guys on the crew and you're trying to go deep into the playoffs, it's stuff that they haven't seen before. And because it's stuff that they haven't seen before, they could get a little bit. I mean, Jared Allen said it about the Cavs. You know, the lights were too bright. Man, them lights get bright on that playoff stage. Them lights get mad bright. That court get a lot hotter. That rim ain't as big as it looked in January.
But this is my thing,
though.
I agree that this is a very young team, but I don't think age matters if you're mature. Like I done seen plenty of 20-year-olds that are more mature than 40-year-olds. Like if you play the game maturely, then I don't really think age is a factor. And I think that's the separator with this Oklahoma team. We're a very mature team. We learn fast. We play as a team. Specifically with Shea. Shea is one of like the biggest and fastest learners on our team. So although he did jump for that dumbass pump fake in game 6, I feel like that's one of those things where like he probably learned from that specifically. It was like that's probably like one of the main reasons that we didn't go to a game 7, stuff like that. And I see a lot of corrections like that when we play. We have gamble plays and stuff like that, but as far as like staying disciplined, we are a very disciplined team. So especially since last year was our first time in the playoffs. Just to see how we grow as a team, I'm ready to see this year.
And that part I won't argue, but what I will argue is as disciplined as you are, you're going to run into other teams who are also very coached very, very well and disciplined, like Houston. I don't think Houston has the talent that you have, but they're a very disciplined squad, right? I don't think that the Lakers, in terms of talent, I don't think you guys are that far apart, but they got vets over there, and they got vets who've been around and they've seen this. And when you're running up on a young team like Oklahoma City, age, like you just said, as young as you guys are and as disciplined as you guys are, we still need to see it in the playoffs deep. When you get to the West Finals, when you get to the NBA Finals, them bets get higher. When those bets get higher, that ball is a lot hotter than it was in round 1. That ball is a lot hotter than it was in round 2. Guys don't look at the basket like they did. Guys playing defense, they don't cover like they did in the past. So I think that with this Oklahoma City team, as young as they are and as good as they are, they do have to stay sound and they do have to stay grounded. They're going to run into some teams that are disciplined like they are too. So,
yeah. Well, Brax, before I do let you go, Brax, I just want to put this on your mind. Y'all should probably watch out for the Lakers, the Wolves, and the Clippers.
I'd say at best the Wolves.
What's your advantage against the Lakers, Brax?
I just think we're more talented and more disciplined, younger, so we can run the floor. Our defense is way better. We have mismatch advantages. If we run a double big lineup, Jackson Hayes, good luck. Like, you feel me? Like, we have the defense to not stop what they have going on offense, but like contain it. I feel like our defense will outweigh their offense. I think that'll be like the biggest factor, to be honest with you.
I can see Oklahoma City wearing the Lakers down. I can see that.
Yeah. And I don't think it's a question that we're going to outrun them. Like,
the Lakers would have to catch y'all early. You know what I'm saying?
They would have to, literally.
The Lakers don't want a Western Conference Finals against OKC is not. I don't think that. So the Lakers.
To be honest with you, I'm not sure about that part. I'd actually flip that around. I don't want to see. You want to see the Lakers in the West?
The Lakers need a force.
The best chance they would have to beat us early, because although LeBron is great, he's 40. He's gonna get tired. Like, and you're gonna rely on him a lot, and you're gonna rely on him a lot in the playoffs, chill.
But that's why you got Luka, though.
That's why you have Luka. But once we start getting down the line, it's like, okay, Luka's your best player. LeBron's your second best player. AR's your third best player. Okay, see, it's like Shea's your best player. He's 20-something. Then either J-Dub or Chet, they're also 20-something. And you got once you start going down the line, it's a bunch of 20-year-olds that do not get tired.
A lot of youth over there.
Yeah, it's a lot of youth, and we can run like real deep lineups. I think that's the difference.
You can outclass youth. You can outsmart youth. You can 100% outsmart you. So to your point, I got to flip that around, because to be honest with you, if you see them in the West Finals and James is fresh, Luka is fresh, and Austin, because if they're in the West Finals, I'm thinking that they rolling at that point.
Yeah. James not going to be fresh though. Sure, that's the thing. Brian not going to be fresh.
He not.
But
I'm sorry.
But we'll see, y'all. Like, it's a lot of speculation. And you know what? I need to do? I'm gonna take that back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna speak for LeBron James and his fitness. You know, that's what I'm not gonna do.
Don't doubt Bron. That's one thing
that's
I
what
learned.
I'm not gonna do.
As a
you know
KD
what?
fan, I learned never doubt Bron.
Yeah,
no,
what I'm not gonna do is doubt Bron and his fitness and what shape he's gonna come in. So you know what? I'm just gonna let it happen and let's see. Brax, shout out to you. Good job in the PCL. See you in the Sweet 16, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. See you.
Absolutely.
If I catch up with Brax, I'm gonna smoke that dude. Chill. I'm gonna do Brax so bad. I'm gonna do Brax so bad.
Wait till I see you outside. Word is born when I catch you.
Yeah. But before I get to the rest of the lobby, I know you guys have been patiently waiting. Appreciate you. I see y'all. I see you, Jay, Breezy. I see all y'all. Shout out to y'all. I'm gonna get to y'all really soon. But before I do, it's at this point in the show, it's time to get to the title. Chill. The Cleveland Cavaliers have dropped 4 in a row. They are a dumpster fire. A complete dumpster fire. What's going on with them? Is this a bad sign leading up to the playoffs? Is this a situation where they could be trending down and run into the wrong 7 or 8 seed and potentially get popped in the playoffs? Are we looking at the demise of this great historic team? I gotta pump the brakes. Am I going too far?
Relax.
Okay. All right. I just want to know what's happening.
Well, I think it's a combination of things. Number one, my best player has to be my best player. That's number one. You and I have talked about this more than once, Ox. If you are my best player, you have to be that. And Donovan Mitchell on this West Coast road trip, he's shooting under 30% from the floor. I think he's shooting around 27%, and he's shooting under 20% at the long ball line. My best player. Can
I read what Donovan Mitchell said?
Sure.
Okay, real quick. So Donovan Mitchell, after the loss to the Suns, right? Donovan Mitchell says, I'm going to put this one on me. When your leader ain't doing shit, this is what happens. If I'm not being who I need to be, then we're not going to get to where we need to get to. I will be better.
And he's right about that. My best player has to be my best player. If you think about everything that's going on with that team, like we talked about how good Mobley is and the fact that this team is one of the best teams defensively. All right, we talked about that. But with all of that stuff that's going on, I mean, there's four they're starting 5 last night. I think they shot around 50%. Donovan Mitchell was the one who killed them. Same thing happened on this entire West Coast road trip. He has not shot the ball well. In fact, under 30% from the floor, I think around 27%, under 20% at the long ball line, right? So when you're doing that, we rely on you to be our bucket getter. Like we can supplement all the other stuff. And on top of that, we're actually doing our job. We need you to do your job. But also as a team, defensively, Ox, they're giving up over 100. They're giving up almost 122 a game. That's not Cleveland. They're not that kind of team defensively to do that. On top of that, as good as Evan Mobley is as a defender, I feel like their defense has shifted. I feel like they rely on him way too much. I don't think that they rely on each other as much as they rely on him. And he does help. And he's been playing great as a defender. I think the biggest problem that we're having with them, not overall as a defense, I think the biggest problem that we're having is Donovan Mitchell has sucked on this West Coast road trip. And because of that, I think that's trickled down to everything.
2 for 18.
Garbage.
0 for 8 from 3. 2 for 18.
On this 4-game West Coast road trip, he's 24 for 81 from the floor. That's less than 30%, Ox. He can't throw it in the ocean. I think at the long ball line, I think he's 6 for like 37, something like that. He's garbage. And he knows it. If we're going to win, if we're going to have any chance to win games, I need my best player to be my best player. And I hear a lot of people talking. I've heard this in the past that the Cleveland Cavaliers are the 2015 Atlanta Hawks. I really wish that I really wish you guys would stop saying that. I do. I really wish that you guys would stop saying that because that Atlanta Hawks team was damn good. They just ran into James. That's all it was. They ran into James. I can't say this enough, and I will say it until I'm blue in the face. They were 14 games over 500 against the Western Conference that year. They had a 21-game win streak. They just ran into James. That was the problem. Every team has a problem with another team. they ran into James. They would have beat that Bulls team that year. They would have beat that Bulls team in 2015. They would have beat Washington. They just ran into James. That's the problem. So, and I don't have them winning the NBA championship or going to the NBA finals anyway. But I will mention this, Ox. So the 23 Nuggets around this time, when they won the NBA championship, they had lost 5 or 6. The Warriors in 22, when they won the NBA championship, they had dropped 7 of 8. Curry was out of the lineup, so we got to mention that part. Curry was out of the lineup, so they were reeling. I think the Warriors in 18, I think they had dropped 4 out of 5. KD was out of the lineup, so you have stretches like this where like you're in a bit of a slump. I can't just say on the one hand, yo, this team is garbage. They're getting bounced in the first round, and then when they win 15 straight for the second time this year, they're winning the NBA championship. No, we have to stay even keel with this team because 15 straight wins is an anomaly. 4 straight losses on a West Coast road trip, that doesn't happen on the regular. No, not with this team. So I think that we got to chill out. Donovan Mitchell knows that he needs to be better. The shots that he's getting, I think that he needs to take better shots, get better shots. Their defense needs to get better. Once that happens, I think they'll be right back in the middle of it. Right back in. Right. But I'll tell you what, though, Ox, real quick. Celtics only 5 games out. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. It's going to get tricky.
Because let's see. What's the difference real quick? Let me see. As it stands now. Well, yeah, I don't think it matters too much whether they play Atlanta or Orlando. I don't think it too much matters. Okay, so yeah, well, let's once again, I've said it a bunch of times to show y'all, we just got to wait and see. And we don't have much longer to wait. What we got, 3 weeks?
Today is the 22nd. Less than a month from now, the playoffs start.
Yeah. Right. So, man, y'all get ready, man. Get ready. It's coming soon. I think we're going to have some really good playoffs this year, y'all. So, y'all keep paying attention. We'll be back, obviously, on Thursday to talk more about the playoff race. Y'all know that. So, y'all be ready for that, too. Check us out right here on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Don't miss it. Okay, let's get back to the lobby. Let's see, who do we have next? I think Breezy, you there? Don't think he was able to stick around. Nope. Okay, that's all right. We got Jay. Jay's here. What's up, Jay?
What up?
Hello. How's it going, guys?
What up?
Chill. You think we might actually catch Cleveland?
I was just saying that. They're only 5 games out. Only 5
games out. The whole starting lineup's back.
Celtics
we
are rolling.
Might actually catch up to them. How crazy is that going to be? We still, and if we catch up to them, we tie them. Let's just say we tie them for their record. We tie their record. We don't necessarily surpass it. We just tie their record. Right. How crazy would that be?
It would be. It would for the Celtics to end up catching them the way that they've been rolling all season. The Celtics, they had a double-digit lead on the Celtics at one point, and for the Celtics to catch them, which I don't think that they're going to do, Cleveland would have to go to pieces. They would have to completely go to pieces. Sure, they're losing games right now, but they would have to go completely to pieces for Boston to catch them.
Yeah, not enough games left.
Yeah, I don't think that that's happening. I really
they'd have to lose the next 5 straight games for us to catch us, and for us to catch them.
To drop 9 straight? No, I can't see it.
You don't see it, Chill?
No, I can't see it.
What would you say if they did, though?
If they ended up losing 9 straight games. I mean, what else is there to say that except maybe this team isn't as good as I thought that they were? Maybe this team is a pretender, which
you already think they're a pretender anyway.
Yeah, I don't think that they win an NBA championship anyway. But this would be way less than what I thought that they would be. Like I would have to reduce them to being like somewhere around a play-in tournament team. Like to drop 9 straight after winning 15 straight games twice and then drop 10 straight without any significant injuries. To watch a team go to pieces like that, that would mean that Donovan Mitchell will have to play like this for the rest of the season, and he may have to be benched in order for them to start winning games because there's no way that he would continue to play like this and they would lose and keep him in the lineup because the other guys have actually been playing really good.
Mobley's been lighting it up.
Yes, Mobley's been playing really good. Jared Allen's been playing really good. Strus has actually found his shot. Hunter's been playing really good. If Donovan Mitchell were to play like that and continuously play like that and they would lose, I would have to consider taking them out of the lineup for a little while.
Chill, are there any sleeper teams that you're looking like this team may really be dangerous in the postseason? Any team that you're just like has recently emerged and you're just like, these guys may do some damage?
No, Indiana maybe. I feel like Indiana is going to cause a lot of trouble in the Eastern Conference. I'm not sure about the Warriors, man. Like a lot of people talk about the Warriors. I don't know if is Steph going to hold up, because Steph looks like he's running out of gas. I'm not sure if he's going to hold up. We'll see though. But anybody that knows me knows how I feel about Houston. They know how I feel about Houston. I think Houston is going to be. I don't think they're winning it, but I think that they're going to be a tough out. I do. I think that they're going to be hard to deal with.
A second seed sleeper.
Yeah, Chill. Can you be a
I mean,
sleeper if you're a second seed?
Yes, 100%. They didn't make the playoffs last year. They ain't even supposed to be here. Nobody. I didn't think that they would be this high in the standings. No, I did not think they would be this good. No.
Well, Mars did.
No, Mars didn't. I was higher. No, he didn't. I was higher on Houston. No, he didn't. I was higher on Houston than Mars was. I had them as a top 5 seed before the season started. Mars did not have them that high. No, he didn't.
So wait, then you did think they were going to be this good?
I thought that they were going to be a top 5 seed. That the number 2 seed though, yikes.
That's top 5. Yeah, that's top 5.
Yeah, but 2 seed though, no.
Top 5.
Jay, let me tell you something about Jay Ox. Jay, he plays on every word that you say. That's what he does.
I know.
So a top 5 seed, that means that you could be anywhere from 1 to 5. I do know that. Right. I did not think that they would be the number 1 or the number 2 seed. I was leaning more toward 5 than 2. Now, you are correct that 2 is a top 5 seed, but I was leaning more toward 5 than 2. That's where I was at with them.
So you got Houston in the West and Indiana in the East? No Detroit in the East at all?
I think Detroit's going to make some noise, but I don't know if they're a sleeper more than Indiana.
Everybody
thought Indiana, what they did last year was a fluke to everybody. The Knicks was hurt. It was in the Eastern Conference Championship. The Knicks were hurt. Milwaukee was hurt. So I think that there's a level of redemption that they're looking for in Indiana, that, you guys don't think that we're good enough. You think that the only reason why we got to where we got to was because everybody was hurt. And we want to prove that
we can make it back to the conference. That'd be insane if they made it back to the conference championship again. Mm-hmm. That'd be insane.
Yeah. I don't think they will.
That would shut up a lot of gaps.
You think your boys are going to make it, Big Ox? You think your boys are going to make it?
I can't call it, man. We got Milwaukee today, so we'll see. We'll see. We're fighting. Hopefully, DeMontis can finish the season for us. We'll see what happens.
Well,
but right. Jay, I do got to keep it moving, brother. Appreciate you as always. You always come with the insight. Always come with the good energy. Shout out to you
guys. Y'all have a good one.
Yep. Yeah, man. It's a race. It's a race to the finish, y'all. Y'all keep your eyes open. Don't sleep. I'm talking about from here till the end of June. Don't even take a nap. Stay up.
You miss something.
Eyes open. If you gotta tape your eyelids like this, then do it. Stay awake. Don't miss any basketball, y'all. Mm-hmm. This is the time. Sleep during the summer and early fall. When it's basketball season, no sleeping, y'all. No sleeping at all. Let's get to it. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. Who else do we got? Oh, Delomzo. Delomzo's been waiting patiently in the back for a while. Let's see what's up. What's going on, Delomzo?
Yes, sir.
What up?
Let's talk about watching basketball. Something that I know both of you didn't watch. 29 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 74.3 true shooting percent, 8.5 box plus minus against the second best defense in the NBA since the acquisition of Jimmy Butler. Guess who?
Is he talking about post?
We're talking.
I'm talking about the modern day hybrid of Scottie Pippen and Magic Johnson.
Yeah, hey.
His name is Scottie Barnes.
Get him out of here. I'm not doing this with him. Get him out. Get him out.
I'm going to acknowledge it.
I ain't listening. Get him out.
Scottie Pippen.
I'm not doing it with him,
Scottie Pippen and Magic Johnson.
Get him out of here.
You got to hear this, too. Jay's cooking.
I got to listen to Penn enough to talk about Scottie Barnes. I'm not doing this with him, yo. I'm not.
You didn't watch the game, OG.
Wait, chill.
You didn't watch the game,
Give him a second, chill. Wait.
I'm not doing it.
You're on the big screen, Alonzo.
OG.
Nope.
OG, it's time to accept what your heart is telling you, OG. OG, your heart is telling you that he is Scottie Pippen and Magic Johnson hybrid. That's what your heart's telling you. It's time to accept it, OG.
Okay. DeLonzo, appreciate you, brother.
All right, love. Take
Here we go. Okay. I gotta listen to Penn enough about Scottie Barnes. I do. To have to every time on my show, this dude comes up here and he's all this bullshit about Scottie Barnes, this guy. Enough.
Who
already,
DeLonzo pulls up to you?
And what he did was he just changed his name. That's all he did. That's all he did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all he did. I'm straight.
So chill. You're not willing to listen to any Scottie Barnes propaganda unless it's coming from Chill. I mean, coming from Penn.
I already listened to it enough from Penn. That's it. I already listened to it enough from Penn. Penn gives me enough Scottie Barnes. He gives me enough Scottie Barnes information, and it's actually accurate. He gives me numbers. He gives me like it. But this guy, the modern day Scottie Pippen, shut up, man. Damn, enough already with this.
That's high praise. I mean, Magic and Scottie.
Yeah, give me a break, man. I'm tired of listening to that, yo. No, I don't think so.
You know what? I hope Scottie Barnes does wake up tomorrow and be that good. Magic Johnson, Scottie Pippen, like we need that. I don't think Scottie is that. As a matter of fact, Scottie is not that. But if he was that, that would be amazing.
Reiterate that, Ox Park. Make sure you reiterate that part, Ox. He is not that. No, he is not.
100% he is not that. But if he was that's what the game needs. We need a Magic Scottie hybrid, man.
Love that. It's just not him.
Let's keep speaking that into existence, y'all, for sure.
Damn.
Oh man. And you know what? Shout out to you, DeLonzo, for going covert op and changing your name, changing your appearance and everything. I mean,
I'm not listening to it. Like I said,
that's hilarious.
I already listened to enough from Penn about Scottie Barnes. That's all I can take, right? That's all I can take. Penn gives me enough Scottie Barnes for my liking.
Man. Okay. They said he is Magic's defense and Scottie's offense. That's hilarious. Okay, let's see who else we got in the chat. We got a little time left. Let's see. Frank Kershaw. What's up, Frank?
What's up, my guys? Chill, salute, Ox, chill. I always be talking a lot in the chat, and yeah. I feel like that guy had a crazy take because I'm like Penn. I like Scottie Barnes, but that is just taking things way too far. But out of respect to Chill Town, I'll stop talking about him. I wanted to come up today to talk about King James. He's coming back today. I think it's going to be great. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on Bron and the Lake Show, and if you guys think that they can make a deep playoff run. That's my question.
I think they could. Yeah, I think they could make a deep playoff run. Anytime you get LeBron James back in the lineup, that makes your team better. So until he retires, I mean, as long as he's in the lineup, your team is going to be better. You got a long ball shooter. You got a driver. You got a guy who can get to the rim. You got a guy who can finish around the rim. Those guys play better when James is on the floor. So with that being said, I feel like with him back in the lineup with Luka, I mean, the offense gets spread out even more. I think we got to dead this logic about, the spacing. James shooting 40% at the long ball line. I think he's shooting 7 threes a game, something like that. So he's shooting at the long ball line. So I'm not listening to the logic of spacing because he can shoot the basketball. With that being said, him being back in the lineup, I think he relieves Luka as a ball handler. I think he gives Jackson Hayes even more opportunities at the rim in addition to what Luka already gave him. I think he gives Austin Reeves more opportunities. Because him and Austin Reeves are really good together in terms of pick and pop and pick and dive. I really like that between those two guys. So him being back in the lineup, I think really helps them. Yes, it does.
I think so too, Chill. I believe that if they can avoid OKC, it's going to be them and Boston in the finals. And I think it's going to be a great series, man. So I just love to just come up here and just talk hoops. It's just... yeah, I just enjoy it. So I'm a big fan of Player's Choice, Ox and Chill.
Absolutely,
so
absolutely, brother. No doubt. Sir, no doubt.
Appreciate you, Frank. I see you in the chat. you always bringing something to the chat, Frank. It's not a bunch of trolling and just unnecessary stuff. You are the chat members we need. Shout out to you, Frank. Thanks a lot, brother.
Salute.
Chill. I got a treat for you. This is special. This is a special day. We have another PCL contestant, somebody that made the Sweet 16. I want to bring this back up for y'all. This is the Sweet 16. And who we have for y'all in the chat right now is probably going to be one of the best debates we've ever had on this platform. Not just in the PCL. I'm talking about since the inception of this platform. This is going to be one of the best debates you have ever seen. And that is Pensar Basketball versus Nerd Sesh and Logan. Penn, what's up, my man? How you feeling?
What's good? What's
pop
good, Joe?
Pop up like the boogeyman.
What's good, Joe?
Pop up like
he heard Scotty Barnes' name?
I'm not even joking. I've been wanting to call into Chill with Chill. It's a cool show. Love it. Ox, you do a great job hosting. You're not an L host here, you a W host here. I don't know what happens to you when you host a panel, but and I click it on. And what's funny is that dude that just called into you, he called into my show like yesterday or the day before when the Raptors played, and he said, "You got to talk to Chill."
Here we go. See,
you got to talk to Chill about Scottie Pippen. Scotty Barnes being Scottie Pippen.
Scotty Barnes.
And honestly, I told him I don't even agree with you. So you got two panelists who don't agree with you, but I also don't agree with you, Chill. I think you underrating Scotty.
No, I'm not. This is what I want. This is what I want to be clear on. Okay, where are we with Scotty Barnes? Are we in year, I think, what, 4 now or 5?
We in year 4. But here's the thing. I want you to do me a small favor. This is a small favor. Okay. You said earlier in the year you wanted to watch more Scotty Barnes, and you watched him, and you said,
and I did,
and he's robotic. He's robotic. So what I want you to watch, if you have 10 minutes, go back and watch the highlights of Raptors versus Warriors and tell me he wasn't the best offensive and defensive player on the floor.
This was just recently that they played.
2 days ago.
Okay, I'll look into it.
I mean, and you got to look at who he's got on his team. Like, the spacing is atrocious. This is a connective playmaker who's at one point had as many potential assists per game as Luka Doncic. That's some serious playmaking. So we're not underrating the playmaking. The thing where I think he suffers in terms of Scottie Pippen is I don't think his point of attack defense is like Scottie Pippen. I don't think his transition athleticism and fluidity is like Scottie Pippen.
That's a big deal.
Not even in the same realm.
And
no, he's not. I agree with that.
In today's game, as wide open as today's game is, as fast as today's game is, I feel like that's something that goes by the wayside. Be like we talk about Giannis, we talk about James, we talk about Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam does not get enough credit for the transition player that he is. Pascal Siakam is one of the better transition players in the game. When I think about when you tell me
better than Scotty right now,
Scotty Barnes as a player, I think he does a little bit more on the offensive end. I do. Yeah, right. I think he does. I don't think the gap is huge, but I do think that he does a little bit more than Scotty Barnes. And I feel like that mid-range, I feel like that has become just almost like a go-to with him. I still feel like Scotty Barnes is trying to figure it out, and I can't get past. Usually when you talk about players, there's things that you see in players that you like, but then there's things that you can't get past. And when you bring up Scottie Pippen, I just can't get past Scotty Barnes and how robotic he is. Because I think about Scottie Pippen and how fast and how athletic and the defender that he is, and how he was all over the place, how he would shoot gaps, how he would get on the glass, how versatile he was as a defender. I'm thinking about stuff like that. And in year 4, how much better he was. I mean, that was the year that they first won the championship with Jordan. How much better he was, how much more versatile he was, how much more athletic he was. And when you tell me Scotty Barnes, I'm thinking Scottie Pippen, he was flying through the air. Scottie Pippen was much more of a distributor. He was much more of a rebounder. He was that Eastern Conference championship in those NBA finals, I almost got 20 and 10 out of him. I mean, they don't win that championship without him. So that's not to say that Scotty Barnes isn't a good player. But I get enough Scotty.
He's 23, Joe.
Yes, sir.
And he made an all-star team at 22.
Sure.
And he did it playing on a pretty ass roster. So I'm just saying we give it some time, but the reputation is a reputation, and there is, Leonard Hamilton.
I do know Leonard Hamilton, the head coach at Florida.
You respect
He's
him?
not there anymore. I do respect him. Yes.
You know who he compares Scottie to?
Scottie Pippen
and Magic Johnson.
Yeah, that's
literally
what
said. That's my hybrid.
That's what he came when he was coming out. When he was coming out of college, that was the comparison.
When the caller called in, he asked me like, what players you compare Scottie Barnes to. I had to go through my Rolodex in my mind. I was like, I've compared him to Rasheed Wallace. His head coaches right now has compared him to Nikola Jokic. People compare him to Domantas Sabonis. Some people compare him to Kawhi Leonard. Some people compare him to Draymond Green. It's the weirdest player you ever thought about in your life. When you can compare a player,
he's just a hooper, Pin. Like when you're just an all around hooper, then you can get those type of comparisons. So that's why I like Scottie Barnes. And I know me and you had words about the the Hamilton comparison. Leonard Hamilton. I'm sorry, Leonard Hamilton comparison. And we had those. But with that being said, I understand where this comes from because he is a hooper. He can do everything on the court. And that's the type of basketball I like. The type of basketball player that's never uncomfortable on any inch of that basketball court.
And he's a dog. I think
Scottie Barnes fits into that.
And I appreciate players who don't back down from big challenges. When he saw LeBron James, he put up 32, 17, and 6 in his rookie year, if I recall correctly. Every time he see LeBron, every time he see Giannis, he's locking up and he's not backing down. And that element of it feels like, I feel like if I had to think of one player where I'm like, I could see his career going like him, it's probably Jimmy Butler. It's a little Jimmy Butler. He's got the dog. He has a shaky outside jump shot. So maybe that's not as triggering as Scottie Pippen, because I feel like Scottie Pippen gets a little bit underrated. But I mean, like, we could move off of Scottie. We can move off of Scottie.
Before we do, because if you got something else, Pin, give me 1 second, because I do got to ask you some specific questions myself, because you are a Sweet 16 participant. I know that you were kind of disappointed in your first round showing, but it was enough to get you here. Shout out to you. Congratulations, Pin. You have, like I already said, a highly anticipated matchup. I personally think it's going to be one of the better debates we've seen in a long time. I'm here for it. I'm going to be tuned in for every word of that debate. Pin, how do you feel about the Sweet 16? How it's shaped up for all contestants and specifically yourself? What do you think is in store for the Sweet 16?
I mean, when we were announcing the winners last night, there was a lot of controversy. Of course, I'm happy my man Chill went through. You'll notice I never flipped up. You hear me say you hear me say that Mike won once? No,
I didn't hear you say that.
Exactly. So I stand with my fellow panelists. I'm not rooting against my fellow panelists. I'm not Judas like Mars rooting for the wild cards. But here, I think, I'm gonna be honest. I love Jordan. He did pack up one of the toughest contestants in round one. Carson was really good, and that's good for us, right? Because that means someone else ain't got to face him. This like the Miami Heat sending the Milwaukee Bucks home. It's like, great, cool. I think Swiper got his.
We don't got to deal with them.
Yeah, I think I'm a root for a little bit of a Cinderella run for Brax the Bandit. I'm a root for that. I don't know if it's going to happen. Hayes is a very good competitor. Dion and John might be really good because I love John, but I'm not underrating Dion this time. I might be overrating him this time, but yeah, Jordan going to pack up Gifted. Jordan is going to pack up Gifted in 2 rounds. The third round, Jordan could just sleep on camera. He don't even need to participate in the third round. And Gifted coming up yesterday with his mic 8 decibels higher than mine and just screaming over me, and everyone being like, "Oh, he snatched his chain. He's so he."
Pin, I want to say right now, Pin, my bad, but that's good content, bro. It's good content.
It is good content. I'll give you that.
Ox loves the Ruckers, B. He loves it. He needs it.
I think Chill got. I think Chill 100% got his matchup for sure. I think Mars 100% got his. I think ZZ got his. I know y'all talking shit about ZZ because he didn't have to face Riv, but there was a reason y'all were looking forward to him versus Riv because ZZ's good. Okay, so stop hating on ZZ.
I'm going to smoke ZZ, Pin.
Oh, my bad. That's you. My bad. It's a big Ock.
Yeah, because you know who did that. I'm sure it was Ron who did that. It was Ron who did it.
I didn't know who Big OC was. You change up on me.
Yeah,
you change up. You went to California and you changed up. Okay, but I mean, like you better come prepared because Zizi gonna give you work for sure.
I got bad respect for Zizi.
If there's one person that I feel like I'm a little bit shocked that he's not here, it's the dude that you think is real smug. Casual. I think Casual got robbed. I'm not even saying Casual got robbed because like he was against Logan, so I feel like okay, cool, you know. But I think it's kind of unfortunate that we're at the Sweet 16 and Carson and Casual aren't here because I think they're definitely two of the better debaters. So that's my view on it. But me versus Logan, I'm not even confident. I'm not even that confident.
That's gonna be a good one. I'm making sure that I pay attention to that one. Yes, I will.
Yeah. I mean, I want to win. I'm going to try to win. I will prepare to win, but that's tough.
The thing I'm looking forward to between you two guys, because again, this is going to be different basketball talk. This is going to be basketball talk where I'm going to raise my eyebrows like, wow, I didn't know that. I think that the counters in this are going to be legendary.
Talk to me about counters. What do you mean counters? Like someone brings it somewhere and you flip it?
Yes, because and Logan is really good at that, and you're exceptional at that. And I think that when you go up against two guys, when you have two guys who talk basketball and one brings a really interesting point, and if somebody counters that with another interesting point, I think we're gonna have some really good debate between you two guys.
What role do you feel let's say the psychology plays into this? Momentum, psychology, you know, like how you sequence shit. Like for instance, like you have a minute and 30 and you coming, and then you flip the whole thing, and then you give the person like something they weren't expecting, and now they're like, you're on the timer. You know what I mean? Like kind of like that little bit of a psychological warfare. Yes. I feel like people need to, I don't want to say overthink it. I think people need to deep think this one a little bit, you know, because if you're going up against a really good opponent, you're gonna have to come up with something a little bit more, more than X stat, Y stat. This is what I feel, you know, reading off the screen and shit. The other thing that I'm just laying out the playbook because I don't believe in like, you know, lying or trying to hold things back or, you know, all that shit. So I'm just gonna say this. I feel like I might need to rehearse my points a couple times too, just to see how it sounds and come out.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with rehearsing. Nothing wrong with going over your stuff. Nothing. And some people might hear you. Some people might think, oh, you going over your stuff, you're not going to be prepared for counters. Actually, you are. That's why you go over your stuff, because you think about what you're saying and okay, does this work? If he's going to say this, if I say this, because this is the kind of stuff that you go over this is the kind of stuff that I go over in my head when I'm going over my stuff. So yeah,
I'll give you another thing that I think I'm going to do. I'm actually, because I do respect Logan that much, I'm actually going to make his points in my head too. So I'm actually going to have the debate from both sides. I'm gonna lay out the debate from his side and my side. Don't give him too much,
Pin. Don't give him too much.
Yeah. Don't open up your rhyme book, bro. Don't open up your rhyme book. Keep your rhyme book closed.
They watching, Pin.
That's all good. That's all good. That's all good. It's okay. You can know what I'm about to do. You're not gonna stop me from doing it anyway. So it's like you could know.
So you Larry Bird.
I'm getting the ball right here. 2 dribbles.
Michael Jordan, right? I'm going left, one shoulder push. You can't stop me. No, I'm not even trying to bring that energy. I'm laying it out there in case there's another panelist out there who's just like, hey, like, you know, let's think this a little bit deeper. I feel like it helps to understand the other person's point, because then you're not caught off guard by what they're looking at. And then what if, I'm gonna just say this, how psychologically messed up would it be if that person brings up a point and you'd be like, if you wanted to make your argument stronger, why don't you bring up this? Oh, now you're helping them? I think that would win some points with the judges too, no?
I think so too. But Pin, we got to keep it moving. I don't know if you've seen Claire in the chat, but she don't play. She texting me.
See my phone already shaking right now because we already getting the call from the Scoots. They got to wrap it up.
Before I let you go though, Pin, I do want to say shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up today, giving insights. As you always do, and congratulations on your first round win.
You guys,
shout out to you. I hope you keep it going. I'm rooting for all PC guys. I'm rooting for all panel guys. Shout out to Logan, but he's not PC. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carson, but he's not PC. I love Nerd Sesh. I do.
Claire's saying cap.
All right, I'll show you the text messages. I don't do.
You want to see them?
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good. All right, peace, guys.
Claire do this every Saturday. All right, Pin. I'll see you sometime this week. Man, Claire always do that, y'all. She always say we capping, but she be on my line. I'm talking about because
did she go right there? Did she go right there?
Right. On the West Coast, we end at 10:30. It's 10:32. Claire usually starts texting me at about 10:25, 10:26. Like, all right, it's time to wrap it up. So, all right. But
I'm on the East Coast, and it's around like 126, 127. I start getting that like, all right, chill. Let's go. Wrap it up.
Right. But let me read this last super chat. And anybody in the lobby that didn't get up, I know we got a couple of y'all back there. Time constraints, I'm sorry. Pull up on Thursday or next Saturday, and I'll remember all the names that are up here, and I will get you guys first. I'll move you out to the front of the line. So please come back Thursday or Saturday. Apologies, y'all. But to this super chat, it says Zigzag Puzzle says, I DM Pin about this, but I don't see Miami pushing us into the play-in. They are 5 ahead. They might still win 6 more games. We only win 8 more games.
Ox, all I know is that the Trailblazers 2 games out of the play-in. That's all I know. I don't know much. I just know that the Trailblazers is like 2 games out of the play-in. So keep looking around and watch what happens. Trailblazers might end up in the play-in tournament. I think they're like 2 games out. Keep playing around. You see what happens.
Man, y'all watch out for them Blazers, man. I would like to go to a playing game in Portland. That'd be dope. But all right, y'all. That's the end of the show. Appreciate y'all all. Once again, let me put this back up on the screen. This is the Sweet 16. You got it here first on Chill with Chill. Y'all make sure to not miss any of these debates. They are epic. They are epic. Chill.
Y'all know what time it is when y'all see us, man. Every Thursday, every Saturday. Y'all know what it is. We will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water. Don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. Well, last time you talked to your mother, I just talked to my mother yesterday. If you're ever in the Portland area and you had too much to drink, hey, call my man. He ain't going to leave you out there. He will not leave you out there. No, he won't do that to you. We will see you guys soon. But until then, take it light, but take it.
Peace, y'all. We'll see y'all on Thursday. See y'all on Monday on the panel. Y'all make sure, love yourself, drink some water, and never, ever drink and drive, y'all.
Don't do that.